The Umbrella Academy has been one of the must-watch Netflix shows. In Season 1, the siblings attempted to save the world, and in Season 2, Five transports himself and the rest of the Umbrella Academy to the 1960s. However, they all touched down at different points in time. Klaus and Ben in 1960, Allison in 1961, Luther in 1962, and Diego, Vanya, and Five in September, October, and November of 1963, respectively. The ending certainly left us craving for more, and we have a couple of ways Season 3 could unfold. So stick around for the craziest theories as compiled by Riveted. The finale. Although Ben is dead and is only able to interact with just one of his siblings, he still gave fans a sense of positivity and hope even in the series' darkest moments. All that changed when in the show's 9th episode of Season 2, Ben sacrificed himself to save his sister Vanya. And although it's a fitting send-off for Ben, it actually felt harder to say goodbye to him. Yeah, he was already dead, but his second death was just a big blow to fans. However, in the Season 2 finale, a surprise twist gives us a totally brand new Ben in an alternative universe. The only problem, that didn't look like the Ben we all fell in love with. This new one looks like a lot of trouble, and we love it. Now to the crazy theories. Did Ben actually die? In Seasons 1 and 2, it's been confirmed that Ben was killed at the age of 13 or 14 during a mission gone sour, but his ghost has aged beyond those adolescent years. A theory suggests that Ben never actually died. Maybe something surrounding his abilities spooked Reginald, and when he very nearly died on that mission, Reginald feigned his death and left him in an induced coma at the Hotel Oblivion. For all it's worth, we already know he's fond of drugging and isolation his children. That would explain why Klaus can still see him even when he's drunk. And there's another explanation as to why Klaus conjured him. Klaus, in the comics, has the ability to astral projection, so perhaps when he tried conjuring Ben, his desire to see his brother again was so strong he actually pulled his spirit out of his still-living body. So Reginald adopted different kids. Another theory suggests that after meeting the siblings in 1963, Sir Reginald was disappointed with the Umbrella Academy and decided to adopt different kids. The exception, of course, being Ben, who Sir Reginald didn't actually meet in 1963 and therefore would have no reason to avoid. This implies that the Sparrow Academy might have knowledge about the Hargreaves that they can use to their advantage, which could put the siblings at a major disadvantage should they be at odds. Sparrow Academy versus Umbrella Academy. There's a possibility that the two groups could fight each other, but there's also the possibility that they could work together. In Volume 3, Hotel Oblivion, comic readers learn that Reginald imprisoned villains in a pocket dimension. After someone releases the villains, they wreak havoc on the universe, and it's up to the Umbrella Academy and the Sparrows to defeat them. This suggests that the original siblings and the new siblings could band together in a potential Season 3 to defeat new foes. The next chapter. Comics creator Gerard Way confirmed to Forbes that his next comic, Volume 4, will be called Sparrow Academy, and he said that fans will learn more about the elusive group in the future. He added that the new comic will deal with something that had been secret for a long time, and that the Hargreaves will learn a lot about what was happening behind the scenes, as well as discovering the true nature of some characters that have been with them since the beginning. Volume 4 will finally start to answer the question, what about the other babies born on that day, in that moment? Volume 3 of the comic books actually confirms that more of the 43 kids have been going strong. One woman can turn into a flock of birds, another member can shoot black energy beams of some kind, and a third has a voodoo doll-esque power where sticking themselves with needles can inflict psychic sympathy damage on opponents. In the comic, the leader of the Sparrow Academy has blonde hair and super strength, and even refers to himself as Number 1, Luther's old designation. However, in the show, the Sparrow Academy is clearly led by Ben. The Sparrow Academy could also be the Hargreaves in an alternative universe and not new kids as seen in the comic books. Harlan's role in Season 3. During the Umbrella Academy's second season, Vanya inadvertently passes along her powers to a Texas boy named Harlan, played by Justin Paul Kelly. This results in the Hargreaves siblings having to return to Sissy's farm to stop Harlan after he loses control of these powers. Vanya tries to get the powers back, but she doesn't do a very good job. We see him levitating a small wooden sparrow after the Umbrella Academy returns to the future. We hate to break this down to you, but the innocent boy may be the villain in Season 3. All the trauma he went through, including killing his father, dying, then coming back to life, and almost being taken by the Handler, could potentially be setting Harlan up to be the villain for Season 3. Harlan isn't able to control his powers in 1963, and without proper training, this could lead to a potential apocalypse should someone set him off in the present day. Even if the apocalypse doesn't happen like in the other seasons, we can bet that Harlan had something to do with the formation of the Sparrow Academy. So what happened to Lila? It's already been established that Lila is one of the 43 special children born under peculiar circumstances on October 1st, 1989. She learns that the Handler, whom she believed to be her own loving adoptive mother, actually had her parents killed by 5 so that she could steal Lila and use her powers to her advantage. Just like Harlan, we have a strong feeling that Lila will be in the Sparrow Academy. The last we saw of Lila, she had taken a briefcase and disappeared somewhere in time. The original timeline has been changed so much that if Ben is in the Sparrow Academy, why not Lila? If she's not part of the Sparrow Academy, the other siblings would probably try to track her down. If it was up to us, we'd probably start by going back to the point where her parents were murdered to see if she's going to try to stop it from happening in the first place. Luther's moon mission. In Season 1, we were meant to believe that Luther's 4-year mission to the moon was a total waste of time. We thought it was just an excuse to get him out of the way and give him a sense of purpose after his accident. However, a comment in Season 2 from a Majestic 12 member to Sir Reginald about his interest on the dark side of the moon could suggest there's more to the moon mission than meets the eye. We might finally get to understand the true purpose of the mission in Season 3. The Green Cube. Along with the silhouettes of the Sparrow Academy, we got a glimpse of a mysterious floating green cube at the end of Season 2. Many fans believe this is actually a Sparrow Academy member, and their power or something that has happened to them has resulted in this appearance. Although it's worth noting that the show has already dramatically changed aspects of the comics, there is a group of superheroes called the Sparrows in the comics, one of whom is a cube. The Green Cube could also be the Sparrow version of Grace. It could be some kind of being Sir Reginald created in order to help look after the children of the Sparrow Academy. You might recall that after the time travel, the real Grace left Sir Reginald, and while we don't know what happened to the original real Grace, or what caused Sir Reginald to model the robot Grace after her, it seems likely that the timeline has changed enough that he never made her in this version of events. The Handler is a 1989 baby. Considering she adopted Lila, it might feel like a long stretch for the Handler to also be one of the 1989 kids, but it's not entirely impossible. The instances we've seen her stopping time may actually be her own power, and not as a result of commission tech. Her older age could be the result of time travel and her being on a different timeline. Okay, here is a crazy theory. The Handler is still alive and in Harlan's body. When the Handler went to go talk to Harlan, she wouldn't have walked away without him, and she somehow transferred into Harlan's body. Pogo is alive. Pogo's death was one of the saddest things that happened in Season 1 of the Umbrella Academy, but because people are making comebacks, we might as well give him one. Since Sir Reginald isn't dead in the new timeline and the apocalypse didn't happen, it makes sense that Pogo also didn't die. Whether he stayed with Sir Reginald or lived with Grace after their breakup, we don't know. He could be an entirely different Pogo to the one we know, but he is certainly alive somewhere. The truth about the Swedes. It's highly likely that the Swedes aren't commission assassins at all. Think about it. No one at the time agency actually mentions them by name. There are also marked differences when comparing them to other agency employees. For one, they're not wearing suits and ties like the rest of their colleagues, nor are they ever shown carrying a briefcase around. The latter is especially strange since we know the Commission's #1 rule is to never leave a briefcase unprotected. The Swedes go after Vanya, which doesn't seem to make sense since the Commission wants the apocalypse to happen. It's possible the Swedes are working with another time agency and the intention of messing with the Commission's plans. At the end of Season 2, only one assassin survived. Nothing will stop him from completing his mission in Season 3, whatever that mission is. So Reginald's backstory. The return of Reginald Hargreaves in present day is certainly a big shock for the Umbrella Academy and will no doubt cause some serious shakeups in the 3rd season. In Season 1, we were given scant information on Reginald's origin. We saw him say a meaningful goodbye to a dying woman before he left his planet and arrived on Earth in the 1800s. In Season 2, we get a few more details about what he was up to in the 1960s. We learn that he's working with the Majestic 12. But when the Majestic 12 pisses him off, he murders them all after taking off his human skin suit and revealing himself to be some sort of reptile alien creature. The comic book fans already knew that that moment would come to pass, but Sir Reginald remains a mystery even to them. What are his plans for Earth and the moon? What was up with his home planet? Does his skin suit itch? Hopefully all these questions and more about him will be answered in Season 3. Release date. Officially, Netflix hasn't even renewed the show for Season 3 yet, but fans probably don't need to be overly concerned here. The show was reportedly a huge hit for Netflix last year, and Season 2 has also been very successful, so a 3rd installment is highly likely. Probably the show will be able to go back into production earlier than many others because it's filmed in Canada rather than the US. As from June, Hollywood productions were permitted to begin filming in Canada again, although some shows have already run into issues with COVID-19 testing as they prepare to resume production. Creator Steve Blackman also gave a fairly extensive interview to TV Guide discussing all sorts of possibilities for the 3rd season. Cast. It's likely that many of the key players from Season 1 and 2 would return for Season 3. That means Ellen Page as Vanya, Tom Hopper as Luther, David Castaneda as Diego, Emmy Raver-Lamont as Allison, Robert Sheehan as Klaus, Aidan Gallagher as Number 5, Justin H. Min as Ben, and Colm Fiore as Reginald. We'd also expect to see Ritu Arya, who plays Season 2's big addition, Lila, back in some capacity for a third season. We also don't want to totally write off the handler, played by Kate Walsh, for making another return. So far, we are not certain of anything, but the Klaus cult better be alive in Season 3. Can you imagine how the members would freak out when Klaus suddenly shows up in 2019 in their old age? So what are your theories for Season 3 of the Umbrella Academy? Let us know in the comment section below. As always, this has been Riveted.